Okay, have you ever heard of a book that literally no one on Earth can read? Well, today we're diving into what might just be the world's most mysterious text ever, the Voynich Manuscript. I mean, this thing is a real historical artifact, but for centuries, its secrets have been completely, totally locked away. And this quote, it just says it all, right? Think about it. Not one person, not the best linguists, not the most brilliant codebreakers, not even a supercomputer or the NSA has been able to read a single word. Imagine that, holding a book filled with these incredibly detailed drawings and this gorgeous flowing script, and it's all complete gibberish to us. It's a puzzle that has just stumped the smartest people on the planet for generations. 600 years. That's how long this book has kept its secrets. We're talking about something created back in the early Renaissance, the time of Joan of Arc. And in all that time, not one single understandable sentence has ever been translated. It's just mind-boggling. So let's get into it. Before we start talking theories, what exactly is this thing? Let's take a closer look at the manuscript itself. It's a real, priceless artifact, and it's kept under lock and key at Yale University. Okay, so here's what we know for sure. These are the rock-solid facts. We know it has 240 pages made of vellum, that's calfskin, and radiocarbon dating has confirmed it was made sometime between 1404 and 1438. Now that's huge because it tells us right away this isn't some modern prank or a clever Victorian forgery. Nope, this is the real deal. All right, now for the really fun part. Let's metaphorically open the book. Because what's inside is, well, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. The whole manuscript is split into 6 totally different sections, and honestly, each one just makes the whole thing even more mysterious. So you've got these different sections: botanical, astronomical, something called balneological, we'll get to that, cosmological, recipes, and then just a bunch of text with no pictures. It's this wild mix of topics. You've got plants, stars, and these, well, they look like strange bathing rituals. It feels like each part of the book follows its own set of rules, and it's completely baffled researchers for centuries. Let's start with the biggest section, the botanical pages. Now, you might think, oh, they're just old drawings of plants. But no, these aren't just badly drawn. The details are incredible. They have realistic-looking roots, leaves, flowers, but they're all mashed together in ways that are completely impossible in nature. Researchers actually called them chimeras. Like someone took parts from different real plants and just fused them together. Which, of course, raises the big question, why on earth would you do that? And believe me, the illustrations just get weirder from there. You flip to the astronomical section and you see these intricate star charts and zodiacs, but with naked women who look like they're literally tethered to the stars. Then you get to the balneological section, that basically means bathing, and it's just page after page of nude women in this crazy network of green pipes and pools. It honestly looks like a 15th century water park. For hundreds of years, everyone just chalked these up to pure fantasy, because what else could they be? Now, here's a massive clue that changes everything. A pretty recent analysis of the handwriting revealed a bombshell. This wasn't written by just one person. There were at least 5 different scribes who worked on this manuscript. And here's the kicker. They all wrote it fluently, like it was their native language, with almost no mistakes. This is so important. It proves this wasn't just one person's weird private journal. No, this was a coordinated, practiced project by a whole team of people who knew this script inside and out. Okay, so if this was a team project, who were these people? And where has this book been hiding for all this time? To even begin to answer that, we have to trace its journey through history. And it really is like investigating a 600-year-old cold case, one that's packed with emperors, alchemists, and some of the smartest people who have ever lived, all of whom tried and failed to crack it. The known history of this book is just incredible. At one point, it was owned by the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, who was a huge fan of the occult. Then it was sent to this legendary Jesuit scholar, Athanasius Kucher, probably the most famous linguist of his time, and even he couldn't read it. And then, poof, the book just vanishes. For over 200 years, it's completely gone from the historical record, until 1912, when it's rediscovered by a book dealer near Rome named Wilfrid Voynich, which is, of course, how it got its name. And just to really hammer home how difficult this thing is, just look at the list of people who have tried and failed. You've got the codebreakers from World War I and World War II. The guys who cracked the supposedly unbreakable Nazi Enigma machine. They couldn't make a dent. The NSA threw their best minds at it during the Cold War. Nothing. Heck, even modern AI gave it a shot in 2018 and couldn't produce a single logical sentence.
That's the level of challenge we are dealing with here. It's monumental.
For centuries, that was pretty much the end of the story. Just failure after failure. But right now, something is changing. We are living through what is probably the most exciting period in the entire history of Voynich research. A couple of recent breakthroughs are turning everything we thought we knew completely on its head. So in 2024, a brand new theory popped up that, for the first time, gives us a really powerful motive for all this secrecy. What if this book isn't about magic or alchemy at all? What if it's about medicine? Specifically, women's health and gynecology. You have to remember, back in the 15th century, that kind of knowledge could be seen as dangerous, even heretical. It was actually pretty common to hide medical text in ciphers to protect them and their authors from the church. And this theory just reframes everything. All of a sudden, those bizarre drawings of women bathing in green pipes, they're not just frolicking in some medieval water park anymore. What if they're actually symbolic diagrams, coded illustrations of the female reproductive system, a topic so taboo back then that it would have needed to be disguised in a way that was completely unrecognizable? Then came the how, a huge technical breakthrough. A researcher came up with a theoretical cipher called the WWII cipher. And get this, it uses super simple tools they definitely had back then, playing cards and dice. And by using them in a specific way, you can take a language like Latin or Italian and turn it into text that is statistically almost a perfect match for the Voynich script. We're talking the same weird word lengths, the same letter patterns, all of it. Now, it might not be the exact system they used, but it proves something massive. Creating a code this complex wasn't impossible in the 1400s. It was totally doable. Okay, so think about where we are. We have a possible motive, hiding women's medical knowledge. And we have a possible method, a clever cipher using simple tools. Now, let's see what happens when we combine all that with tiny little clues that have been hiding in plain sight on the manuscript's pages for centuries. This is where it gets really cool, like a detective story. Tucked away in the art are these tiny details that are actually massive clues. For example, there's a tiny drawing of a castle, and the battlements on top have this swallowtail shape. That architectural style was used exclusively in northern Italy at the time. In another drawing, a figure is wearing a hat that was a specific fashion in 15th century Florence. Even the way some of the plants are drawn matches up with other herbal guides made in northern Italy. All the evidence is pointing to one place and one time, Renaissance Italy. So let's put all the pieces together. The leading modern hypothesis looks something like this. What is it? It's probably a comprehensive medical guide for women. How was it made? It was likely encoded using a sophisticated, maybe card-based cipher. Who made it? A team of at least 5 fluent scribes. Where? Northern Italy. And when? The early 1400s. For the first time ever, we actually have a single coherent story that fits all the evidence. Now, don't get me wrong, we haven't cracked it yet, but the feeling among researchers right now is just electric. After all this time, with new tech and these powerful new theories, the puzzle finally has edges. It's not just this infinite, unknowable mystery anymore. For the first time in 600 years, the answer feels like it's actually within reach. Which leaves us with one final, huge question. This book isn't just a random code. It's a time capsule, locked for 6 centuries. And it just makes you wonder, what knowledge was so important, so potentially dangerous, or maybe so precious, that a group of people would go to such incredible lengths to build this beautiful, impenetrable fortress around it, hoping to protect it for all time? What were they trying to tell us?